Well, I'm going to start that because otherwise I'll forget. I'm going to hit ours. And so, there's Miss Katie.
Good morning. Good afternoon. How's everybody?
Good.
Good. I'm excited to hear about this Nicole today. I love pickleball. And Deb, are you introducing?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, should I get started, Karen? Go for it. Okay. Well, officially, good afternoon, everyone. It's that time. Welcome to your September 23rd online Ames Noon Rotary meeting. Let's see, as always, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And is there anyone in our Rotary family that needs extra thoughts? I know we heard a few last week. Anybody know of any new information? Okay, we'll just take a brief moment of silence. Okay, wonderful. It's really starting to feel like fall today, isn't it? So we don't have any announcements. We just can get right into our speaker, which may give us a little time back at the end of the day or at the end of the meeting. So Deb, I'll shoot it over to you if you want to introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you, Katie. I will do that, but I do have a quick announcement that I want to make sure everybody is aware of. Many of you know that Heartland of Story County is the agency that I work with, and we are now located in the new 60 Forward Center, located at 205 South Walnut Avenue here in Ames. And our open house is going to be held this Saturday, September 28th. The ribbon cutting is at 10 a.m. and then the open house will follow until 2 p.m. So people are free to come and go and wander around the building and ask questions and meet Heartland board members and just get a good feeling for the building. So that's this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we are open for business officially Monday, September 30th. So that includes the bistro, the Heartland programs and programs from our partners, Mary Greeley Medical Center and Ames Parks and Recreation. So very excited that this day has finally arrived. And that's a good segue into introducing our guest, Nicole Facio, who is with us. Nicole is a Heartland board member and has been for the past, I think we figured out 8 years. So very, very excited about that. She will be an outgoing member after the ribbon cutting, but we certainly have really enjoyed and appreciated her service to Heartland. But Nicole, she's originally from Chicago, Illinois, and has lived in Ames since 1999. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Iowa, and her law degree is from Drake University. She's currently an attorney in Ames at the New Point Law Firm. And her tie to pickleball is she's been playing the sport for the over 5 years. She is one of the founding members of the Ames Pickleball Club and was past president. And she still serves on the board for that particular club. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Nicole so she can share all of the information and her knowledge about pickleball. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to start off by it's difficult a little bit to give a presentation on pickleball because it's an activity, it's a sport, and the way that you learn to do it is to get out there and try it. So it's a little challenging to talk about it or talk about the rules. I don't know a lot of people, and I've taught some pickleball classes, they don't get it until they're actually on the court trying it out, and then they figure out what some of these rules mean or that kind of thing. So bear with me as we go through this. I have been playing pickleball for 5+ years. I do not pretend to be an expert. I'm just an enthusiast. I really love doing it. And what I've learned is that I have no athletic ability, but somehow being out on the pickleball court, I have been able to figure out how that works and get active and be active. So I'll share with that. And then hopefully if you have questions about how it works, or if you want to check it out, we can talk about the various places where you can try pickleball in our community. So let me just get technology to work. Okay. And so can you see that screen? Okay.
Now we can see it.
Now we can see it. Okay, there you go. We'll figure it out. The first thing, I mean, and just in terms of what I hope to kind of talk about, I just want to talk about just the basics of the rules, kind of the popularity of the game, how you can play in Ames. Again, it's a little bit challenging to talk about the rules without being on the court or that kind of thing, but I'm going to do my best. And this is a picture of the courts or how they would look, but we have more. So, and as I talked about, it is when I first started, and I did not start pickleball in the Ames community. There are many people playing before I started. I think they've been playing 10 to 15 years. Pickleball's been around since the 60s. And so, but in the time that I've been playing, we started the Ames Pickleball Club in 2020, at the end of 2020, and we now have 150 members that are club memberships. And then we have a Facebook group, probably, I think there's hundreds of members. So I'm gonna apologize, my cat is here too. So, but since that time, in the 5 years that I've been playing, there's been such an interest in people coming, asking how do they get started, how do they play. It's all age groups, and so it's been very exciting to be a part of the growth, especially in Ames and in our community. So, and this is kind of some statistics I pulled out about the growth of pickleball and how fast it has grown in the last 3 to 5 years. And so it was surprising to me because a lot of people talk about it being an old person's game or something like that, but it is really growing in popularity you see the largest age group is 18 to 34. And so I think that many people come out of all ages, and that's one of the most exciting things I've found about pickleball is that we have people playing from kids who come out and are pretty fast and pretty good. And then we have older people, I think into their 80s that are playing on a regular basis. So, or even older. I try not to ask people's names or ages, but it's very exciting to see them playing together on the same court. So in the last, several years, there's been quite a growth, and that's been happening. And the amount of courts popping up just in the central Iowa area, and how many people are playing, it's happening all over the country because we have traveled and go to other communities and play pickleball, and the same thing is happening all over the country in terms of pickleball and how popular it is. And I think that's because it's relatively easy to get into, relatively inexpensive, and there's all different variety of levels that make it easier to keep playing. So pickleball, and that's a picture. The yellow is a picture of a pickleball. It's kind of like a wiffle ball, I think, plastic ball. I compare it to it's playing, I think it's most like for me playing ping pong, but on a large scale. And so it's a combination of all those sports. I would say it's a paddle sport, not a racket sport. A lot of people call them rackets. That is the difference than racquetball or that kind of thing. But it's paddle ball or paddle sport and paddle and the ball. And so it's very similar to a lot of people come to playing pickleball from racket sports like tennis, ping pong, badminton, all of those kinds of sports translate well, although there is a bit of a learning curve when you come from those sports. So this is just kind of some basic rules, overview. Like I said, there's a lot of rules in pickleball. It's a very simple game, but there's a lot of rules with an asterisk. So it's hard to get them all just in a talk but it is, once you start playing, they're pretty easy to pick up. But it's a game to 11. You have to win by 2. Only the serving team gets points as they go through, and so there's a lot of going back and forth, side outs, but not you don't get points unless you're serving. The serve is a little different in terms of has to be underhand as opposed to tennis or that kind of thing. You have to be behind, keep your feet in a certain place and that kind of thing. And so just the next serve, this slide, I tried to find some demonstrations without actually having being physically on the court. So when we're serving to the opposite corner. Usually, like it is a game of singles or doubles. Usually you're going to find most people playing doubles. It's just a lot easier. There's a lot less running, a lot less court to cover. So most pickleball play is going to be with doubles in our area. But the way a serve goes, and it's a little different. So a server in 1 is serving to number 3, and it has to land in that area to be a good serve, has to be underhand. And then the other rule that comes with serving is when it comes back from 3 back into 1 or 2 court, they have to let it bounce before hitting. And that's kind of the rules of service. People call it the 2 bounce rule. So 1 serving to 3, and then when 1 or 2 have to hit it back, they have to let it bounce first. So again, and we could go over these again, but again, I find it always best. I'm going to encourage everybody who's interested to come out and try it and see what this looks like in person. In terms of faults for pickleball, there's a couple ways that you will get a fault or lose the point. And that is when you serve and it's outside of that area or that rectangle area, that's a fault. Lands out of bounds. It hits the net and then falls on your side, that's a fault. And it can only bounce once before you hit it. You don't get to have multiple bounces before you can get to it. So as you're out there, it's not too hard to keep track, and everybody on the court will keep track for you, but those are kinds of the ways that you lose the rally. And this is kind of again, try to find physical demonstrations so we can see of where you go wrong in terms of losing a point or losing the set for pickleball. And I'm going to go over. This is probably one of the most perplexing things for people when they start pickleball. We have this area called the kitchen, and it seems to cause people a lot of confusion or issues, but the kitchen, and you can see in this little picture, also the light blue is called the non-volley zone officially. And all that means is that if you cannot stand in that area and hit the ball out of the air. So if it bounces, you can hit it. You can be in the kitchen at any time. You just cannot hit the ball out of the air when you're in that area. So that throws a lot of people off. But I think the purpose is so we don't all get smashed in the face when a ball is coming over at you, and to kind of slow down the pace and have some strategy in terms of when you're playing pickleball. So the kitchen throws a lot of people off, but and that would be a fault when you step on the line, or you're in the kitchen when you hit the ball out of the air. So when the ball comes to you, you have to let it bounce in the kitchen before you can hit it back. So that's kind of the main rule. I can't tell you, people get very nervous about this rule. It's really not that. As you play more and more, it really becomes second nature to you in terms of where you're at on the court and being in the kitchen or out of the kitchen. But it shouldn't be a source of worry in terms of starting pickleball, but a lot of people will mention the kitchen and being in the kitchen and that kind of thing. The most perplexing thing, besides the second two, understanding what the kitchen is, the scoring in pickleball. And again, I don't think it's difficult, it's just practice. And I think this is where the benefit of your memory use and kind of keeping track of what's going on around you, where it can be benefits of pickleball. But in scoring, just you understand, there's 3 numbers, and usually people say when they start, it's 0-0-2 is the start of a game. And the first number is your score. Second number is the opponent's score. And then the third number is who is serving. So in each kind of, I call them rounds, you will have both people serve. And then again, as pickleball does, there's an asterisk. So when you start the game of pickleball and you're beginning in the at the very beginning, we're starting with the second server. So that throws a lot of people off. So when you start a game in pickleball, the score is 0-0-2 or 0-0 start. And then after the first side out, both players get to serve. Probably one of the most difficult, and keeping track of who score or whose turn it is to serve and what's the score. I think that's the most confusion that I see people out there, but there are so many people on the court to help and will keep you track of score for you and do all of this. And the main thing I've learned as I've gone out and played pickleball is how friendly and open this community is to helping people play, wanting to get people started. People are competitive, so that comes out, but I think most people are willing to help keep track of this. So just in this example, when it's side out and the serve comes back to your team, the person on the right-hand side starts and they're server number 1. So it would be 3-3-1. Then they serve, they lose their turn to serve, and then it goes to the second server. It would be 3-3-2. So that because they're now the second server in that side out. So a little, like I said, easier to understand when you're in play and in action. And when I'm teaching, I usually have people just keep trying it, and we all keep score together so that people start to get it and understand. But that's probably the most confusing or difficult thing for people to understand, is how to keep score. When I started pickleball, like I said, I am not an athletic person. I do not like to exercise. And so I find that pickleball for me is a great source of exercise, keeps my mind engaged, because not only is it a physical activity, but there's a lot of strategy involved, and gameplay and planning and thinking and anticipating your opponent's shots, that kind of thing. And so I think it keeps my mind engaged while I'm also exercising. So that's why I like it. I think other people have found it quick to learn. And like I said, we do, and I'll talk about this, but I've done several beginning classes, and within one class, people are starting to pick up how to play, kind of what's happening on the court or that kind of thing. And by the second time they come and they're trying it, we're having rallies and they're able to keep kind of gameplay going. So I think it is very quick to learn. The hand-eye coordination keeps you moving. And you do have to be careful, because people get very competitive, and then they unfortunately, sometimes people fall on the court. But I think that generally it's pretty safe, it's pretty healthy. And we are, it's been pretty social in terms of you don't need a partner to play. You can come out on your own and play. We do have a group of players that play on a regular basis. They play almost, I think a lot of people play almost every day. And so they get to know who they're playing with and have the social interactions or that kind of thing. And like I said, it also is very multi-generational. And I've played against teenagers all the way up. And so, I mean, and it doesn't really it depends, skill level does not depend on age. So I think it's very welcoming, and a lot of people have the skills. It's regardless of age or that kind of thing. It's not really dependent on that. In Ames, and this is a picture of the courts at Emma McCarthy Lee Park. And so we have worked pretty hard to get these courts in Ames. And so we now have 6 dedicated pickleball courts. And so people enjoy that much better in terms of the nets are the actually correct size as opposed to playing on tennis courts. There's lines, it's much easier to see, and you don't have to chase the ball. So Emma McCarthy Lee, we have 6. I'm hoping in the future Ames will give us more dedicated, because I think if most days, and if Deb says she's been out there, they fill up and they fill up. We have 6. We have the possibility of having 10 courts. You can set up temporary nets there. So there are a lot of people playing, and so they're being put to good use. At Ines Grove and Brookside Park, they also have its tennis courts, but they're marked for pickleball. And so, and you can lower the tennis nets a little bit to make it more pickleball friendly. And so for a long time, we were playing at Ines Grove and Brookside Park, and those courts are still available and were just recently repainted. So the lines are more clear in terms of that. And indoor during the wintertime, Harvest Church has turned their tennis courts into pickleball courts. They also still have tennis. I don't want to say that, but they now have indoor courts at Harvest on South 16th Street. And they have a membership. They have a low cost or free membership. You just have to sign up to use their website. But that's Harvest Pickleball. And during the winter time, most people play inside. The Ames Community Center, I think Deb mentioned that's where she started at the city gym. They do have occasional times during the week where they have play indoors at the gym. And then Ames Racket and Fitness had the tennis bubble. That's being in the state of construction. And so we're not quite sure what they're going to have in the future in terms of pickleball facilities. So we'll see, but we're hoping that in the future, Emma McCarthy Lee Park can be host to tournaments or other activities because it's been a very nice facility. And then in surrounding communities, in Huxley, they have dedicated pickleball courts. I think they got them the earliest in this area. And so they have in Centennial Park pickleball courts, and then the Fitness and Recreation Center. In Boone, this picture is a picture of the courts that they have in Boone. And so they have at Memorial Park pickleball courts. Nevada, just the Nevada Fieldhouse, they just did those. I haven't been to them yet, but I know a lot of people are playing there. And then in Story City, they have the recreational center, and they also play outside, is my understanding. And so I apologize to people from Story City, but I think they also have outdoor courts that they play on a regular basis. But and so in terms of finding, where do we find these? I put up Playtime Scheduler, and I'm going to show you how to use it. But when you're looking, that's basically all those bubbles represent different locations and that kind of thing of where play is happening in Ames area or in the central Iowa area, actually. And so when you're ever looking for a group or you want to play or you get out there, I'll show you what it looks like to use that website. And then we have Ames Pickleball Club, and we have a website. that you can go to and get more information. And like I said, we started in 2024. We're a nonprofit group that is our mission is to promote pickleball in the Ames or Central Iowa area, and then also to help improve the courts. So as part of that, we have been raising money or funds to, we had the Story County Community Foundation for windscreens and for storage there. We're donating so that they can put a shelter at Emma McCarthy Lee Park. And so to make that more comfortable and have shade and that kind of thing. So we've been working on, that's our mission in terms of that. And so throughout the year, we have various different activities, skill development. We do beginning classes. I don't think we have something set up, but usually at the beginning of summer, we host classes for people. And then I think Harvest was also doing classes on Saturdays for beginners or for people that wanted to check it out. And I think they probably start doing that again if they're not doing it now in terms of, and I think those were free. Our classes are free to get out and try it. And so I'm going to try to pause so I can show you how Playtime Scheduler works. Can you see that now? Okay, so this is the website that most people in our area use to find where are people playing pickleball and how do I join up or that kind of thing. And so this is where we always refer to people as playtimescheduler.com. I don't believe they have an app yet, so you have to actually go on the computer or use on your phone. But you can see for today, this is the teal color is the Ames or, this area. And so for this, there were over almost 30 people playing in Emma McCarthy Lee Park this morning from 8 to 10. And so people, you can join and just let people know that you're coming. Just because it's nobody wants to show up and we don't have enough for 4 people or that kind of thing to play. Or if we're going to have a lot of people, how do we plan and have maybe extra courts or nets? So this is an app at the top. It will let you know Emma McCarthy Lee Park. This is another group in Boone. And so the teal color will let you know, and you can see how many times a day you have the opportunity to find pickleball in this area. I think this is all of Central Iowa though. So like this is Walker Johnston and these courts or, and to look, but basically the teal, this blue color, that's Nevada, is going to be in our Central Iowa area, and then or in Ames area. And then all the rest of these are from Central Iowa. So, and this website is free to join. And I think they ask you some questions about if you know about pickleball, what's the starting score? And I just said 002. So a lot of times it's very nice to sign up, see where people are playing. I think this one is the community center. And so that was today. And so you can see on a daily basis how much is available to play. If you want to play every day, you can in this community. There are plenty of places to play. So I'd encourage you to do that. The other website I was going to show. A lot of can see that. Okay, a lot of people have if you saw on that website or Playtime Scheduler, player ratings or player skill ratings. This is a little bit of a source of, I don't know, controversy is not the right word, but we all rate ourselves. They do have an ability to you can be rated by a professional or certified person to do that. But when people ask questions about what is my skill level or rating or that kind of thing. Most beginners are here in the 1 to 2.0. And I usually tell people everybody starts pretty much at a 2.0. You can get on the court and you can hit the ball and that kind of thing. And then you move up from there. So these are kind of for more information if you want to see the different skill ratings, because you'll notice that when you're on the playtime scheduler, people have skill or rating numbers next to their names, and that's kind of where that comes from, is the various different skills and how they rate themselves and how they are developing, I guess. So that's what I have. I don't know if there's questions. Again, I think it's important to get out there and try it. Everybody probably knows somebody that's playing pickleball, or you're tired of hearing them talk about pickleball, because once people get out there and they start playing, they get very excited about it, and they want to share. And so that becomes contagious, I think, that excitement. And so I have a lot of people that have started and just love it. And it's a great way to get exercise and be out in the community. So I don't know if people have questions.
It looks like there was a question in the chat from Dean. When playing doubles, does a player always have to stay within their 4th area of the court?
No, it needs to be when the serve needs to just go over to the other person. And then once the serve is made, people can move wherever they want in the court. There's no restriction on where you stand, except don't be in the kitchen and hit the ball out of the air. But you can move around the court. That sometimes takes some practice to learn how to play with a partner and how to allow which shots or whose or that kind of thing. And people do well at communicating or that kind of thing, saying mine or go or those kinds of thing. But you can move around the court at any time after the serve. I saw that question.
Okay.
It says, as a veteran player, do you willingly call yourself a picklehead? No, I don't. But I know people do, and I don't have a problem with people calling me picklehead. I like it. Like I said, I think what I've liked the most is that I don't do exercise very well. I get bored running or that kind of thing, and this keeps me engaged we usually play for about 2 hours at a time. So it keeps me engaged that whole time and exercising and that kind of thing. So that's what I love about it. Mm-hmm.
No
Thank
other
you, guys.
questions? Yeah, thanks, Nicole. That was great. I don't think I could have explained all of those things without acting it out. So nice job.
Thank you,
Really
guys.
interesting. I don't get to play very often, but I sure love to play here. I'm worried about the winter though, without Rex and Ames Rec and Fitness.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know.
Harvest has done a great job they have great facilities there. I think they were charging $5 a session plus tax last time. Besides, they have various different memberships, but they do keep the courts going and active. So they have lots of times during the winter where they're available and open, and they have a different website to sign up, but it's a great place to play.
Oh, okay. So you don't do that one through Playtime.
No, well, they do list the times on Playtime Scheduler, but they have a separate website where they have people actually sign up because it involves payment. So you have to pay for the play at Harvest, and outdoor
Gotcha.
courts are free, but Harvest you have to pay. And same thing for their Ames Rec and Fitness.
Yeah.
They have payment too.
That's wonderful. Well, thanks again for sharing all that with us. That
Thank
was
you.
really interesting. And then I think I did forget one announcement from the beginning. Kent, do you want to give a quick reminder about Wednesday?
Sure, I appreciate that, Katie. Wednesday, 5:30, we have, excuse me, the charter ceremony for the Rotaract Club, and that'll be at CY Stevens. Karen, I found out today that they have invited additional students that may be interested in joining Rotaract, sort of a guest of the club. So we may have a few more young people there. Dinner will start at 5:30. Program was scheduled to end at 7:30. Full slate of dignitaries, if you will, Miss Katie. And I think a very special
Me.
occasion. So I do want to encourage people. Wednesday, the 25th, 5:30, Stevens Auditorium. Come in through the southwest door. That's all accessible. And then you'll come around the corner, go past the new restrooms, and come onto the stage. So if you have a guest coming with you, please let Karen know so we can make allowances for the food.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump right in. I had to give a guarantee to Hy-Vee, who's doing the catering last week. So if anyone plans to come, I budgeted for about 10 people more. But if we have too many, I don't know, somebody might not be eating. So please let me know ASAP
RSVP. Yeah.
if you plan to attend.
Or
Sure.
serving sizes in half.
Good. Sure to be a great event. So looking really forward to that this week. Anything else from anyone? Anything I've forgotten before I wrap it up? Okay, well, thanks again, Nicole. We really appreciate you being with us. And with that, if you'd like to join me for the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thanks, everybody. See you Wednesday.